What's up, everybody? Coach Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Valorant video. But before we get started, make sure to pledge your GameLeap loyalty and pay up, and maybe a Tesla might magically show up at your doorstep. But let's jump into this amazing Valorant video where we have to break down so many damn cool stories. First off, we had the absolutely insane First Strike tournament, and we gotta break down all the analytics, including what is the most played character and different things that you need to know about the new Valorant meta. And of course, we gotta break down all the most amazing moments from over the weekend so you don't miss out on any of the crazy storylines, funny moments, and epic plays. We got so much to cover, so make sure you watch to the end. But enough wasting time, let's jump into it, shall we? So the first thing that we gotta break down is 100 Thieves took the gold up against TSM in the finals. A newly cemented roster actually took it all down, and the games were freaking crazy. Now, there's too many clips that I could show you, but I'm gonna show you the one that really personifies how epic some of these games were in the grand finale on Sunday. I'm gonna roll it here.
Color there with the flash for Wardell to get out the dark cover. We'll have to see though if they can make this work around elbow. Color with two. TSM need this round desperately. It's up to Nitro. He's trying to get out of there. He's gonna get smashed by that rolling thunder.
Oh my God, he dinked.
Still gets the dink onto Hayes. Hayes has to fall back, and they have to slow play this one now. Nitro makes his way forward. The paranoia there goes down, turns away from the flash. Nitro looking to find the last player. Where has he gone? Hayes rotates up top. He's going to go down with a TP. Nitro going for the stick. He's going all the way for the stick. Oh! Hayes saves it barely.
Oh my God.
Now, everyone on 100 Thieves actually played amazing. Ninja actually tweeted this out. He said, Asuna is actually a psychopath. This man satchel towards the freaking Razor. What a monster. And 100 Thieves Asuna responded with, when you are the entry, you can't falter. Relentless aggression. I'm giving duelists to make sure my boomers do not die to rockets. I will gladly give up my life to watch them clutch. And if that doesn't sound like the best damn duelist on the freaking planet, I just don't know what is. Now, that being said, Hayes kind of messed up. After they lost 2 rounds, he actually called the fact that they lost a fluke on Twitter, and it really opened up the floodgates after 100 Thieves beat TSM 3-1. Hello, 911? Wardell broke into my house? He has knives? What's that? I'm safe, you say? Still also posted, fluked our way to the best team in the world. 100 Thieves Nitro posted 100 gimmicks, 100 noobs, 100K, and the list goes on and on. I mean, honestly, just go check out Twitter. There is so many goddamn funny tweets about the First Strike results. Now, Ninja and Myth actually co-watched the tournament, and they had special permission to watch and air the tournament at the same time. And between all the major streams, there was over 300,000 people peak viewership, which is absolutely insane numbers for the first major in an esport. And guess what? Valorant is just getting started, baby. Now, it's really funny because Myth took on the role, because he's part of TSM, as like a pseudo TSM coach, where he would make inspirational, you know, speeches and say all kinds of funny stuff as if he was like a coach on the sidelines. And Ninja took on the role as if he was a pseudo 100 Thieves coach, and it led to really funny moments like this.
Into defender's spawn right there. Through screens, looking to even it up.
Hello?
5 rounds?
Excuse me?
You let 5 rounds go on defense?
Excuse you, son of a. Do you know what our win rate is on attack side? You better. We gave you a goddamn luxury taking attack side or defensive side on the first half. You are unprepared for the goddamn godly wrath that we're about to unleash on your troll-looking. My.
Because TSM.
God damn it.
Now, as you know, the owner of 100 Thieves, NADESHOT, reacted like this on Twitter. And this is really vindication for NADESHOT, because the common thread that has always been talked about is that 100 Thieves sells a lot of t-shirts, a lot of hoodies, but they don't win any tournaments. But NADESHOT dropped literally most likely $1 million on the roster if you combine all the players, some of which got about $300,000 a year, plus the coaches. It's easily over a $1 million roster. And it really just goes to show that it was worth the money. It was worth buying veterans into the field, Nitro and Steel, to add onto the roster, who both played absolutely insane. And then we got to talk about scalping, you know, Dicey's and Asuna from Immortals. Specifically, Asuna really really turned up today. He played absolutely phenomenally, but certainly the man that they built the entire roster around, 100 Thieves Hiko, he actually had the most impact out of anyone in this entire tournament. Hiko was undeniable. He was dominant, and he posted this on Twitter after his win. He said, "Shout out to 100 Thieves for believing in him, a 30-year-old to bring home a championship. We're just getting started. Time to make 2021 ours." Now, it feels damn good from Hiko playing on a roster that just couldn't win a game to being the best roster in North America, and I cannot wait to see international events. But for now, this was an awesome tournament, but let's actually jump into the in-game analysis. What characters was the most picked out of the top 8 teams? Well, kicking it off with the top, let's talk about the most picked character in the entire tournament in the top 8. It was none other than Omen, and he didn't have an 80% pick rate. He didn't have a 90% pick rate. He had a 100% pick rate on every single map. Omen is undoubtedly the most essential character in the entire game right now, and his pick rate just shows it. And as a contrast to that, Breach was played a flat 0% by the top 8 teams. In fact, Breach, Sage, and Viper were all not played. Now that being said, second, third, and fourth most picked was Jett, Sova, and Cypher respectively. So even after the Cypher nerfs, Cypher is still seeing a fair amount of play on all the maps besides Ascent at only a 33% pick rate. Now that being said, the winner, 100 Thieves, still was basically always on either Cypher or Killjoy. And while a lot of teams, specifically TSM, didn't run any Sentinels, the winning team did, and it made it a lot harder for other teams to flank, and Steel in particular got a ton of value by making these really impactful lurks from the in-game leader role. So we're kind of entering a meta where double duelist is viable, or having multiple duelists, but having a Sentinel is still pretty good if you have someone that is very experienced on said role. So we have a fair amount of flexibility here. Now Ray sees a whole bunch of play on certain maps, 0% on Haven, but 100% on Split and 92% on Bind. So basically we really saw why Hiko was on the Raze, because Raze sees a 100% pick rate on Split and Sova sees a 0% pick rate on Split. So these characters literally flop. If you're the Sova player, you play Sova on most of the maps, and then you can easily just slide over to the Raze because Sova's not picked on specifically Split, his worst map, and Raze's undoubtedly best map. Now that being said, we did see a fair amount of Phoenix, Reyna, Breach, Killjoy, and Skye did see 14% pick rate overall. And remember, this is the first major tournament that Skye has actually seen play in, because it's the first tournament that Skye was allowed to see play in, including the map Icebox. And as such, Skye didn't really see as much play as, in my opinion, she will eventually see, because players just didn't have enough time to scrim her, not enough time to play her. But she did look very promising, specifically on binds, and I would imagine that we're going to see her more often going into the future. Now looking at the characters, revisiting what we talked about, the 0% pick rate, Brimstone, Sage, and Viper. Now personally, I do not want to see Omen nerfs, even though he has such a huge pick rate. I really personally think he's very, very balanced, and I would just love to see specifically buffs to the other controllers, Brimstone and Viper, to make them comparable counterparts. And I've already suggested a lot of the different buffs to these characters, but if you have any specific suggestions, definitely let me know in the comments down below. And then last up, we gotta talk about Sage with that 0% pick rate, but the developers have already stated that they are going to buff her either in 1.14 or 1.15, so look forward to Sage buffs in the near future. Now for the next thing I wanted to show you, just a random shout out in the actual EU First Strike, Average Jonas, which some of you know as a crazy Sova player, he actually sang a remix of Amazing Grace, and it's actually kind of cool because he's an opera singer. I'm gonna play a little bit of that here.
Was I always kill? I live for the hunter's heart, and so till the end I always will.
And that's actually freaking nuts. This guy can do it all, and I would love to see more interesting things in like the halftime shows and things like that for future Riot events. And then the last story I wanted to break down is TSM Hazed talks about Valorant versus CS. And a lot of people often say that Counter-Strike is a much more difficult game. You know, there's more difficult aiming. It has a higher skill ceiling as far as the gunplay is concerned, but Hazed has a really different opinion than most about whether or not Valorant is actually easier than CSGO. He says this: in my opinion, yes, it's easier to shoot in this game, but it's infinitely harder to understand strategy and make the right play. Some people who complain that Valorant is easier, I think they're foolish. Now, me personally, I really agree with this statement because you got to think about it. Yes, the gunplay is a lot more difficult in Counter-Strike. And when you talk about the mechanical aspect of gunplay, that is a lot more difficult, and things like pop flashes and bouncing your flashes and things like that, that is mechanically more difficult than just using an ability. However, when you are thinking of strategy in Valorant, you not only have to think about things like, I have to go up against this person and this person, where they positioned, but you also got to think about what abilities does this person have and this person have. Does that make it more or less likely they execute in this way or check this position? And does that make my positioning weaker or better? And there's a lot of different layers when you think about all the different characters. And not to mention, as more and more characters come out, it's going to become more and more complex, and there's going to be more things you got to constantly think about and play around, including ultimates. And I really do think that Valorant is a really cool mix. Now, would I like a little bit more skill involved in the gunplay? Yes. At the very least, I would like consistent spray patterns and maybe a little bit less consistent running and gunning. But all that aside, Valorant is still an amazing game, and this First Strike tournament proved how intricate these freaking games can become. It was a phenomenal weekend. Definitely let me know or comment down below your favorite moment. But go to the GameLeap website right now for in-depth advanced VOD reviews, agent guides, map guides, tips and tricks. I mean, we got it on the GameLeap website. So do yourself a favor, go check it out in the links down below. But thank you so much for coming by. That's all I got for you today. I love each and every one of your faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.